Okay, back with another live stream. Now I'm going to go to work on the first I'm going to take a look at the RedBlackBioStar, the one on my Fedora 14 system that I'm using for a server, the one with the red lights up there. And because it's still, I just left it. It didn't actually finish booting into the graphic user interface, but the server was up and running, so I left it because I was so tired yesterday. So I'm going to reboot it and see if it just, like maybe run check disk and fsck or whichever. I can't always forget the command, but it should run it automatically. Usually, if there's anything wrong, it'll run it automatically, at least after a couple of boots. And got the monitor, the camera set where I can show the monitor, and so I can at least give a general laptop, so I can give a general idea of what's going on. I plan on going back to seeing if I can get that laptop to boot to that SD card that I put Fedora 29 server on yesterday. So let me get over here and check my stream audio and everything. I can see that I have video. Okay, yeah, got audio and video, and I don't know why it does that now, but every time I start, it starts out in the stream in the yellow, and then usually it changes. After a while, I'll look back and it's green, and yesterday it stayed green for, 4.5 hours, so I don't know why it didn't used to do that. It always started out, if it started out in the green, it usually stayed in the green most of the time, and then if it started out in the yellow, it usually got worse, but now you never really know. Now it's green. I'm trying to make sure I talk on the mic. Yesterday I noticed I have my stream monitoring laptop way around to the left of me, so I really have to turn to see it. Normally right up there, right up here where the Acer laptop is where I normally have my Dell 6000 that I monitor my stream with. So notice it was making me get louder and quieter a lot. But that's the perils, I guess, of doing live stuff. So, or just doing this stuff, period. So, okay, first I'm going to leave it on the camera view so that, you can see the monitor. I'm not going to try to, it's just so much moving and just taking up time and making bad videos, so I'm just going to leave it like it is where you can see them both. And you can't really read them even when I zoom in as close as I can, because the more I zoom in with these phone cameras, the more blurry it gets, because it's just a digital zoom. If I had a real, if I was able, I don't even have any real cameras anymore, just these, and what I consider real cameras. And if I had a camera with an optical zoom, then I would zoom in and get a good clear picture. But I don't think, I've been looking at them, thinking about buying one maybe, but of course a good one's just too much more than I can afford. But even if I spent $200, $250 to $300 on one, it'd be like a low-end good camera, like a Canon or something like that. Some of them have Wi-Fi, but very few of them have. That's just to copy files over to your computer. Very few of them have Wi-Fi live streaming, and that's really the only way I can do it. Right? It's the only way I can do it live. If I were just making a video and then uploading it, especially with multi-views, multi-camera views and stuff. So it just takes too long. Like when OBS Studio wasn't working for a month there or so, and I finally figured out, and I got it working by going back to a older version, and then I froze it. I turned off auto updates and never have. And I think I've got it set to where OBS Studio won't update, but everything else will. But I never did turn it back on because I was afraid it wouldn't work. And then I got to feeling bad, and I haven't done anything for a couple of weeks until my server was down again. So now I'm trying to fix problems again. So anyway, yeah, and so I get over here on the RedBlackBioStar, and I figured out that the problem I was having with my USB, my mouse and keyboard not working, was just simply, it's not, there we go, it's finally picking up, It was just simply that I was confused. Not, my brain. I'm not feeling so great in my and my brain gets confused easily, and so I was on the wrong port. But I did. I confirmed that. I kept on. I don't even remember which port, but right now I'm on port 4, what I call port 4. I just go left to right. They're not numbered that I know of, but anyway, I took the cables. The VGA and the USB are good on this one, but the VGA on the other port, I guess, it's port 3. Port 3 was the one I should have been using, and I kept going to port 1, and that was actually the cable that was going down to my mom's computer. And once I took it loose from there and put it into the laptop, the Acer laptop, to use it on there, that finally, after a while, yesterday, I realized, I was always going to the wrong one. So I plugged it in last night, and I think I did it during the video. And, I had USB just fine, like I should, mouse and keyboard. But and the video was purple, like I figured it would be. Some of the strands of wire are broken inside of that cable is what I'm sure is wrong with it. But if you wiggle, if you twist it just right, it'll come back. But if you're getting it to stay in that spot is almost impossible. But I had been using the USB for the mouse and keyboard and the DVI output on the video card on this machine, and that solved that problem without having to buy an expensive cable. But I had, since the fan went out in the video card for the second time. This was a brand new fan I put in a few months ago. After running it 24 hours for a couple of months there as my server, it wore that fan out. Or it got something. I got thinking maybe it ain't wore out. Maybe it's got something in it, something got in it. But I haven't checked it out yet. But when you spin it with your finger, it feels like a bad bushing or a bad bearing. It's catching, that's for sure. But I'm sitting here with the command line window and talking about everything else. But anyway, let's see. So I went blank from what I was saying anyway. So, but it's okay. I'll recap back to where I'm at. Okay, and this is as far as it got in the boot sequence. The last thing it says is starting user bin Tor. I had the Tor application installed on there years ago, and it's that was just how. But then it looked like, I think what it is, it was trying to do the next thing, whatever that would be, maybe going straight into the the graphic user interface, and it hung there. But there's no errors or anything. It's just a blinking cursor, which I've seen that kind of thing happen before, pretty often actually. But there's no error. I was watching the boot, and I never saw an error. The only thing that looked a little curious to me is up at the top. That's still showing. Of course, you can't read it, but there's a message in there. Everything says okay, green okay, everything's okay though. No errors or anything, but it says starting Cappy for Linux, UDEV work 572, kernel provided name Cappy and name Cappy 20. Disagree. Please use symlink or change the kernel to provide the proper name. Now, I don't remember really seeing something like that, but it's not even got, it's not even marked like with a red or yellow as an error or a warning or anything. Yellow usually means warning, and red means is usually error. So I don't know that has anything to do with I don't think it has anything to do with what's going on. I just thought I wanted to remember that. So I took some pictures of it, tried to get it. I don't know if they came out. I didn't look at them yet. I uploaded them to, took them on the phone, let them upload to Google Photos, and I was actually going to show them before I did this, but I forgot. But and explain this, maybe be able to see it. But what I want to do, though, I'll go ahead and do what I was planning. I'm going to reboot the machine. And I can't, you can't, typing commands doesn't do anything. Type reboot now. Well, it is kind of, I'm not sure if I have a command prompt or not, to be honest, because it's not, it's cut off on the left. It says starting, and you can't see all of the S. But even, I guess I could try turning off the monitor and turning it back on. It would be good to know where I'm at, like if I'm at the command prompt or not, or if it's just blinking and hung up. It did let me type reboot now, but it just, when I hit enter, it just blinking cursor. And it should have done something by now. It should either do it or give me a message saying like you need to log in, you don't have permission or something like that. So you can't go back and usually, like if I just type a bunch of stuff, I can hit the backspace and delete whatever I typed. So that part of it's working, but it really doesn't matter. What I really wanted to do, I think it needs to run fsck. I think it's what it is. Check the check disk basically for Linux. I think it just needs to run that. So I'm gonna hard shut it down. Well, actually, I didn't. It's doing like it did last time. As soon as I hit the button, it goes straight into shutting down mode and get a little graphic readout there. So we'll let it shut down normally. That's the best thing for it. I think what caused this is me when I was trying to figure out which fan was bad. I kept booting it up. Didn't really know exactly where it was in the sequence. Just kind of hoping I waited long enough that it was to the login screen and then hard shutting it down again. And of course, without a monitor or anything, I didn't have anything plugged into it. Because I was actually, the reason that I ended up doing that is because I got all confused about the cables, and the KVM switch, and what cables were plugged into what port, and that, and when I went to put it on the workbench, I didn't feel good, and I didn't feel like dragging the cables out and everything. So because I got to pull those off of Mom's machine, and that's just in the normal. I'll just let it do the normal thing. It'll time out and boot on the newest kernel. Now, if that doesn't work this time, I think I'll try going back to an older kernel and see if something really, maybe that little message really does mean something. Now, see, it's got the normal graphic boot screen, so I'll go ahead and put it into the terminal mode by hitting a key on the keyboard. Okay, I see where it's checking the file system. It says it's clean. Clean. Fedora 14 at 686 clean. Dev mapper, so-and-so, everything's green. So maybe it'll just go, hopefully it'll go right into the graphic user interface this time. Sometimes they do that. Now it blinked a little blue for a second and then right back at the same thing and just hung. Starting user bin tour. But crazily, and I never did see like starting Apache or anything in the web server. I'm sure it did, and I just went by it before I could see it. But because some of it goes by pretty fast. But it is, and see, this is when I do this, it's my server's going offline while it reboots. So I hate to keep doing it unless I have some direction of where to go. I think I will go ahead and try the older kernel before I, go trying to do research or whatever. I guess I'll go ahead. I'm just going to hold that button in this time for 4 seconds. If I force it to shut down like that, maybe it'll make it run fsck. That's what I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'll have to go look up. I never can remember the commands. There's actually a pretty simple little command to get it to go into fsck file system. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, now I'm going to hit. I actually have, see at the top, this is Fedora 14, so it has Grub 1, but I also have Grub 2 installed. That's what's at the top there, where it defaults to, the newest kernel and Grub 1, but I can go to Grub 2, and then I have 2 other operating systems on there, an old version of Artist X and an old version of SUSE Linux that I built on there when they used to have their website for building your own distro. Not distro, remix. But they can be useful sometimes. Well, if you have to work, only thing is they can't either, let's see, well, SUSE might be able to mount the Fedora LVMs. Artist X can't because it runs on Debian. Well, This is a newer one that runs on not on straight to bang, but on Ubuntu, so it's not much use. I never did take them off because I started using the rest of the drives for. I had like 25 gigabyte partitions where I'd put those on there just to be playing with them and stuff. And so I'm booting into the second to newest kernel now. So far, everything is good. Anyway, those drives are backup drives too, and I was afraid to delete those partitions. I was afraid I'd lose my backups if anything went wrong. So they're just still on there. But it does give you a way to get to your files. I can't remember right now. OpenSUSE is an RPM-based distro, and it uses LVMs, I think, so it might be able to. I think maybe. I don't know if it can read my Fedora 14 operating system, but it can read all the backup drives and everything. Yeah, okay, it's working. No, it's not. Man, that's weird. It sucks, too. So it is not specific to that kernel. I bet it is a file system thing then. I bet whatever it's trying to read next is broken. And I'm sure it happened for me. Everything was fine. It's me hard shutting it down. I had to do it a bunch of times, and I just should have been more diligent, I think. And yeah, I can't even run a command. Well, now I could get into the rescue mode. Can't remember the exact commands to run though, so there's no point in that until I get to commands that I can. I'm gonna do it. See if it shuts down. Yeah, it shuts down like normal, and I'll get in the command line and watch the shutdown and see if I see anything interesting in here. Stopping Nagios, disabling monthly smolt update. Stopping user bin tor, but it says okay, it's already done. Down AVHI daemon, running guest on default. Stopping, and it's going faster now. But for some reason, the HTTPD, yeah, you can see that it was running. Of course, I knew it was, but I can see it was stopping it. So that's really crazy. I mean, at least it's working enough that I've got my web server. Okay, shut down. Now I'm just going to let it just start up normally, and wherever it goes, that's where it goes. And go get on back on my main machine and do some research about that error. Or about, well, that's not an error. Oops, I didn't need to do that. Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and start it. Oh, I don't have the rescue kernel on there. That's weird. I think it always used to always. I'm going to go into Grub 2 and see what else is in there. Let's see, because I can't remember. Uh-oh. I didn't stop it quick enough, so it loaded the first one on top. Boy, it went fast. I forgot that I needed to do that. Oh, it went, I think it went ahead and booted into the newest kernel, I think. That's what it did. I was going to sit there and read everything, and 263514 says running auto installation service for kernel 263514, checking kmods for 263514. I'm certain that's the newest kernel though, but it tries. There's something broken to do with the GUI. It tries to go to the blue screen. You know, the blue screen tries to come up to where it would go to the login screen, and then it stopped again at starting user bin tor. So I'm going to leave it there and go. I may have a lot longer time on trying to figure something out about this than I thought. Let's see. Let me look and see that my website's back up before I just go off. Tom Robot here. Of course, it's going to have. I'm waiting. I'm trying to listen that everything's working. There's a delay, so yeah, there we go. Okay. So I see it only. It was down. You know, the checker caught it 3 times there while I was doing all that, but it doesn't show to be down for. But it's up right now. But I want to double check on the other site that I use, Montastic. There is one called Monstatic that I used to use, but for some reason my account just got deleted. Maybe because I didn't log in for a long time or something. I don't know, but I remembered I didn't really like the way the user interface was anyway too well. So. Okay, so I usually get my screenshot of what's going on. I forgot on this one. So, yeah, it says up for 4 minutes. Okay, so trying to think of where I should look to find my I'm going to use the file search search my backup drive for I don't think I better try to search the whole thing. Well, let's let it do it. Let's see. I don't remember if it's fsck or what it is. Let's see, fsck. Okay, fsck, that is what it is. Okay. System utility check. Okay. Let's say I'm just going to say fsck Fedora 14 because and then I'll put it in the Linux commands and so on and so forth. This one may be actually about Fedora 14. Let's see. Run it manually. Oh, I see. Unexpected consistency. Run it with the F parameter, force it to check. fsck F, and then it says which partition you want. If you don't give it a part, from what I remember, if you don't give it a partition, it'll check everything. Yeah, if there was something messed up in the LVM, that could be a problem there. This is maybe specific to his server. He's running Minecraft server. Let's see. How to force fsck. I didn't click on the first one because it said, well, it sounds like another one of those questions and answer things. Those usually get into, oh yeah, touch force fsck. So I might be able to just do that if I can get into the command line. Well, you can do that in Grub. I probably can get in there. Yeah, touch space / force fsck. That's the simple way to just make it do it automatically and then reboot. Okay, and then option in Grub system CTL rescue is a command for starting the rescue system if you're already using Fedora console and then need to unmount root. Well, as I read, yeah, that's one thing. If it needs to be run when you're not mounted, your root's not mounted or anything, so that's why it's really best, easiest to just get it to do it automatically if it can. Okay, that's actually pretty good quick information on that one. Let's see what this one says. This is more one of those articles, which would probably be better. Oh yeah, Linux fixed disk fsck command. I actually have a folder for that. Okay, I saw that I'd been there before, so this probably ought to be in there. There. Okay, now let's go in there and look at that folder and see if there's any other. Yeah, I had to look this up recently when my Fedora 23 server broke on the IBM, and I never could fix it though. I'm gonna open all those and see what's what with all that. Touch force fsck. I'm wondering if I can. You know what? I can SSH into that thing. with a remote terminal, because it's got that running on it. It should. And run that. I was wondering how am I going to do it, but now I realize I can. Okay. 63, 64. Okay, that's the one I was looking at over there, and then make sure it's not mounted. Tells you how to do that if it's already mounted. What I want to do is tell it to force to run it, and then see, I've got so many things open here now. Let's close that one. It's going to be too much for the system, is what I'm afraid of. I guess I'll just leave the ones that I think I want to use first. Yeah, just leave this one page. Okay, now I could use Putty, but you can't copy and paste into Putty, and that makes it harder to do things. What I was thinking is, let's see. Remote terminal Fedora 14. Let's see what we can do about that. Forums are harder to find what you're looking for me, so there we go. Let's see. What? Ebook? Some kind of crap. Starting to see that more lately. People are taking, instead of sharing the information like I do and most everybody else, that's involved in loves open source, they're trying to sell what they know. Straight up. I mean, you can't see it unless you buy it, instead of, just trusting people will, trusting that what goes around comes around, or, that you'll be blessed for blessing other people, or for asking for donations and stuff like that. That's what I prefer. Anyway, okay, that's what I do. I haven't gotten any money back out of it. Well, we'll have to admit that, but that's really okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is one of those forum posts. I don't know what they got going there. I just want to see the commands to BNC. This is all about VNC servers. How to install and start connect to SSH server. Wow, this might be it. I probably should have just said SSH instead of remote terminal. Connect to host on IP connection refused. Yum install systemctl. I've already got all that up and running. All is ready to make your first connection. SSH my server. Okay. That's all you got to do. All right, let's try it then. We'll just close that for now. My IP, I never did end up using that. Okay. My IP address is over there. I think it's 117. Can't remember now. Let's see if I can do remote. Well, you can't do remote desktop. Well, let's just try it with Putty first then. Just to see what I mean, I can look in my router, but actually this is I think I know what it is. 192.168.0.117.22 SSH raw serial. Okay. Yeah. And SE Linux thing came to my daily SE Linux alert. Okay, let's see. Open. I could change the font size, but it's kind of a pain. It's really small. It's hard to read. But there I am. I'm in. Okay. Now let's see if I can. I'm almost certain you can't copy and paste in there. I'm in the Putty terminal, but really, I mean, this is all I need to do. Okay, touch space force fsck forward c. So if I have to type it out, I will. Yeah, there's no way to. Control V won't do it. Space. forcefsck. Okay, it did it. Now I could try logging into a regular terminal. I'll try it just to see if I can do it. I've been meaning to do it forever. Let's see. Let's put that on workspace 2 so that I can look at those instructions. SSH my server. I just didn't know for sure what the IP address was. The authenticity of the host can't be established, or say key fragment is so and so, so and so, so and so. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Cool. Oh, we got to do the password. Don. Okay, we're going in as Don. Okay. I don't know. I guess I should have already got root privileges or something. Need to be root. Okay. Oops. Rebooting. Now let's go watch it. Uh-oh. I forgot to switch to the camera. Taking so long. I shouldn't have done it that way, really. Well, I didn't really want to hard shut it down, though, now did I? I did get over here in time. That's good. Now let's see if it runs that fsck like it should. Now I won't touch anything this time. I'll just let it boot into the normal, the newest kernel. That's what I want. I will do that though, so I can watch the hit a key. Or I always like to use the arrow keys, because those are the ones you're going to use anyway if you're wanting to change to a different kernel. Checking file system, so it's doing it. Okay. And it is checking Fedora 14 i686. I guess it'll check the one you set it in. Like if I would have set it in a different operating system, like OpenSUSE or one of the others, then it would have checked that. Now it's checking the home, LV home. Okay, so it's checking the LVM partition. It's going pretty fast. The other one already finished. The root partition, I guess, is what it was doing. Didn't say it was root, but it's already 75% on the home partition, which is the big one. I think it's a 320 gigabyte hard drive. It's either a 250 or a 320, and it's maybe about 20 gigabyte left on it or something free. It's almost there now.
now it's doing it's going to do them all. It's doing the 294 gigabyte backup drive. It's actually a good thing, really not a bad thing at all, to do them all. Now these, I don't know how long well, it's going fast. It doesn't check, I don't know exactly, it checks this, like the structure of the file system. It doesn't check every file on the file system. I don't know the proper terms to say. I think it's finished. It didn't check all of the backup drives though. I don't know how come it just happened to do those. They must be tied together in the Fedora 14 system somehow. Let's see. Yeah, that little funny message about the kernel is still there, but it hasn't. I've probably been there forever and I never knew it. I'm waiting with bated breath here. It's down to starting Puppet. Ah! Dang it. I wonder if it broke X11 config setup or something. So it's not a broken file system, nothing damaged in the file system, I don't think. The only other thing that I remember right offhand is that X11 config. Oh, I can't do that with Crusader anymore. Used to, I'd always use Crusader to log in. Well, I can do it with. I wouldn't try. Oh, I could use. What is that thing that I like so much? I wonder if Cockpit is installed on this thing. But yeah, that's good to know that. SSH IP address, that's all you got to do. That's pretty simple. And I could go back in there, but let's see. I cannot think of the name of the app that I like to use. Got to where I like it pretty well. Midnight Commander, that's what it is. I can close the fsck part. I think I'll even close the browser to give the machine a little less hard work to do. If it's not already installed, then I can't install anything on this old system, but just MC, Midnight Commander. There it is. I figured I had it on there. Okay, so etc. You can't just type to get to your folders like you can in Crusader. But X11, etc X11 config. Let's see. Xorg config. What else have we got? There's a config backup. Let's view. 3 is view. Does it have to be F3? Yeah, F3. Alright, let's see. This is the X11 config in the Fedora 14 system. These are modules, option, identifier, video card O, driver Radeon. I think I have, yeah, I installed a proprietary driver and I don't use the force option. When they warn you, they mean it. I used the forced option because it didn't want to install, and it forced it to install the proprietary driver, and then I could never uninstall it again. I think you could manually go delete all the files, but I never did it because it was working and I didn't want to break it. And finding those files is really hard. They're everywhere when you install something like that. Let's see. Extensions, composite enabler, end section.
let's, oops, oh, I want to do save as. Oh, well, I'm just viewing it, so I have to do F4 for edit. No, not 4, F4. Okay, now then, how do you save as? 2 is save. Oops. Let's get out of it again. I don't want to. Save with, let's see, file was modified, save with the exit, no. Okay, now then, F4, F2 is save. I want to save as. How do you do save as? Try that one more time. Cancel. You can get up there somehow. There seems to be. Here's what I'll do. I'll just copy it somewhere. Home done. Documents or backups. Or I may have a backup folder in there. Could put it in root so that let's put it in. No, it'd be better to put it in there. Okay, it'll still have the root privileges. It just might give me a headache later on, but that's all right. Documents. Do we have a backup folder? Doesn't look like I have one in there anymore. I used to have one in there, I think, but I think it got me confused. Sometimes I put stuff in the public folder in case that I want to get to. At least on this system, I can get to it. I think it's set up to share. Well, it used to be. Let's see. I'm going to go in the documents because I might have. Yeah, I'll put it in the Fedora 14 folder. Okay, now then. X11 config, copy, that would be F5. Yep, can copy to Fedora 14. Yeah, let's go ahead and make sure it's over there. I guess it's going to be at the very bottom. Org config. I don't know if that's what's broke or not, though. That's the thing. I don't see it. There it is. Org config. Okay. Let's hit view. Yep, still looks the same. Thing is I haven't looked at one of these files in so long. I don't know what it's supposed to look like anymore. But let's look at the backup. Can I select the rest of these? Yeah. Now copy. Copy them all. I think we're going to copy them all. Yep. So now we've got XOR config and FGLRX01 backup and config PTA. All right. Just look at each one. FGLRX monitor. This is what's so great about having SSH server, FTP server, and all that running on your system. If something gets broken, you can just fix it remotely from another machine. You just have to don't open that port up to the internet, though. You know, or your 422 and the SSH port ever, if you got that right. So
GLRX PCI. I can't remember the files that you used to have to edit to fix it when it was broke. I love this system. I really don't want it to be broken. It's my there's applications on here that are no longer available that you can't get anywhere else. I have thought for a long time. It's hard for me to get you know, the repos, of course, the main repos are no longer there. They moved them all to the archives, so that's why I can't install or uninstall. Now, if I could reset up my repos to the archives, I think I could make it all work. But I've never. I tried a couple of times and had so much trouble I quit. You know. Let me check my stream. Yeah. So I've never, and it's not my main system. You know, I forget about it for long periods of time. So. Now this one looks just like the, oh, that's the backup. Everything's identical that I can see. AIGLX on. User lib Xorg modules. Video card O, Radeon. I wonder if I could change the driver to the other driver. Instead of Radeon, it would be, I'd have to go look, I guess. Let's see. I think it's an NVIDIA card. Oh. I don't want to, that is what's wrong with it, and I don't want to fix it. I just need to fix my video card and put it back in there. This is the onboard. I mean, I might be able to fix it by changing the driver that it's using. Now, this is the XR Config PTA. I think this thing has always done this. You know, the onboard is a completely different. It's probably, oh, Radeon, ATI Radeon. Yeah, this is not an NVIDIA. This is a Radeon card that I have. Sit right up here. And I bet you the onboard is also Radeon, and that's why it doesn't work, because it's a different one, you know. I mean, I'll get it. I'll get on the camera in a minute and look at it. But okay, yeah, this is what's bad about being forgetful. So XOR config PTA. I don't remember what that file significance of it at all. The only one I remember is XOR config for sure, and the backup, of course. But the backup is the same, and I think that was an automatic. Well, it might not be an automatic backup. Usually I make those backups and leave them there in case I ever need them. And I guess ever since I made that one, I never had a problem because there's only the one in there. Driver FGLRX. Let's kind of look through this one. AIGLX on, monitor, ATI proprietary driver, generic auto detecting monitor, DPM's true, video card O, Radeon. I've had to edit this XOR config file many times to fix my broken GUI. That's how come I remember some of it, but that was usually when I got a new kernel. It was always when I got a new kernel, or when I tried to install some proprietary driver that didn't work or something. Usually when I got a new kernel that wasn't supporting that, the driver hadn't been updated yet. The manufacturer hadn't updated the proprietary driver yet. That's why I quit using proprietary video card drivers, because just a real pain. You'd be working along happy as you can be when all of a sudden one day, boom, you get a kernel update. Or even like I used to do them manually just to make, so I'd know when it was happening, but I'd forget, you know.
go ahead and do it. But there is Kmods and Accmods. I finally learned about that, and I installed Kmods and Accmods, and they make, you know, they hold the kernel back until the video driver is going to work with the new kernel automatically. And ever since I discovered that years ago, we're looking at Fedora 14, you see, and then I may have still had one or two breaks after that, but not very often. But you'll just be, you know, you reboot for whatever reason, or shut it down at night, and the next day put it back on, and because you had a kernel update. Because I like to use automatic updates, because that way you stay on top of the security updates and everything. But anyway, then you get usually you get a black screen, not a terminal window, or do you? No, I guess you do get a. I guess sometimes you used to get a black screen, just a black screen. But anyway, what I'm getting is a terminal window. You can see it blink. You can see it blinking. The big blue was trying to go to the log on screen, and then it went away. So that's what gave me the clues what was going on. So yeah, that's kind of the details. Okay. Oh, you can use the mouse in there. I didn't know that. User bin lib. User bin libxorg modules, AIGLX on, video card Radeon driver. And I still can't think of the name of the regular driver. You could replace Radeon. Well, I'm not sure. There used to be like 2 or 3 things you had to replace to get it to use a different driver. And composite enabled. Yeah, that card had it had S video. I guess composite and S video is considered the same thing. And I don't know if it is or not. It may be in the syntax of the config files. Okay, so that's something I had done before too. Sometimes, like if the VGA stops working, sometimes the S video would work, and I plug it into the TV and I could see it. You know, actually, let's see, this one, which machine? Oh, that machine. I don't know if that worked or not on this thing. But like I said, the card. Finally, remember, I'm going on and on after. I finally remember. I know what's wrong. There's actually nothing wrong. It's just that I took the card out, and it can't. You know, it's trying. The onboard is not working. Usually they will work without any modifications, because most machines do. I think that's what it is. Well, actually, I don't see another setting for any other kind of card, chip in there, video chip. But usually the problem, when you get into a problem, it's usually when you have 2 of the same manufacturer, but there are different versions, of the chips. So it's probably a Radeon on board, I'm going to guess. And anyway, all I would have to do to get it working again is put the video card back in there. And I was thinking, well, maybe I could edit that and put. It's on the tip of my tongue what that other driver is, but I don't think I want to do that now. The more I think about it. Xorg config D. What happened there? Oh. Huh. That seemed to run that. I thought that was a folder. I think it just ran it. Like it was an executable. Let's see if it changed that or something. No, it didn't change it. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, keyboard config back VBox video config. Let's see what that is. Video card VBox video. I do not know what that is. Video card 666. keyboard config. That's for the keyboard. I don't want to break that. Xinit. Let's see what's in there. X clients. Figure out what Xinit is actually now. So I'm going to get out of there. Whoops. Hit escape twice to close the file when you have one open. fsconfig. XFS font server. Oh, okay. Font path, app link. There's nothing in there. Font path, D. All things that I wouldn't expect to be in there together. Let's see if there's any other thing else to do with X11. Sometimes there's more than one folder to do with that sort of thing. I'm sure that was the right folder, but yeah, XML, XD, Xinid, Yum. I wanted to see if there was like maybe an X11 file down in the main folder of etc. They did move them around over the years, and I remember I had trouble. I knew how to fix it quickly, rather quickly, and then they changed things. Yeah, there's no more X11 in there. So X11 folder, and then xort config. Okay. That came up after it did that. I'm pretty sure that pre-DFM. Yeah. Bin bash. That's a script. We need to source this so that the login screen get translated. Run prefer to X display manager. Oh, okay. I didn't see that a while ago. I think that whenever I clicked on shut down, boot, splash, quit, user bin plowmouth, quit, fallbacks in order, provides a lot of gravel. This is what I'm wanting to work. Do catch all exit error, catch all exit error. But I did not see that a while ago. I don't know if I just missed it or if it was when I double clicked on xort config D folder, it looked like it ran a script or something, and now I see that file. So that's weird. I'm doing a screenshot just for my. Yeah, I could go on and try and figure out some way or another, figure out what other driver to tell it to use, because I know it's installed, because I've used that onboard video before. But I fully intended to do something about this video card, and let's see, how do you quit? I'm going to go ahead and quit that because I want to. Oops, not that. F10. I must have hit the wrong thing. That's not working. It should work. Oh, maybe it's because there was stuff in that little baby terminal. There's a baby terminal window at the bottom, and I had been hitting keys. Now let's see. Nope. Keeps going up to there. And that'll close the terminal. That must be the same command for the terminal as for, let's see. I'm looking, you see the bottom, down here at the bottom, it tells you 1, 2, but it actually means F1, F2, and all that. That's the key. But I don't know why they didn't bother to put an F in front of those to tell you. Oh, 9 is the pull down. Yeah, now I can do that. FTP link. You can do FTP links. You can do a shell link, SMB, or a Windows machine, Windows networking. You can do different file operations in here. Exit. I think that's just exiting that window. Command, options, and then that was that's on the right panel there. See, there's left. The first one's left, and then the far one is right. Exit. Do you really want to exit? Oh, there we go. Now that works. Exit Midnight Commander. Okay, because I wanted to get out of there. I don't want to leave it to where I can mess things up on accident. So let's get the camera up where I can kind of show what I was going to talk about. Okay, so what I had, see, I've got the video card out of it because I figured out this fan is bad. I don't think you can. I doubt you can hear that squeaking on the SM58, but you might. Anyway, it actually squeaks when you try to turn it. And let's see, how do you get it? Oh yeah, there's these two screws. Takes a slot head to get it off. Little spring-loaded nuts. There's spring-loaded nuts on there. One there and one somewhere. One there and one there. That's all that holds that whole the heat sink. Now I have another one of these fans. I have to go out in the garage and get it. But I figured since this one went bad, maybe I should go with my other idea I almost did when I did this before. It was a real pain. I had to, I mean, now it wouldn't probably be as bad, but I had to file down the clearance. You know, the little processor on this card is just a little thicker than, maybe twice as thick as that paper, or maybe 3 times as thick as that cardboard I have on there. Cardboard is to make sure that the nuts on the bottom of these screws holding this fan on, I had to put nuts on the bottom to hold it on. Don't touch anything and short anything out, because look how dense this board is. So might be able to get on the I don't think it just has something in it like dirt or dust or whatever, you know. I think it's just flat worn out. So I have some more. I have a couple of heats. I had one heat sink I remember that would fit in that area, but it was actually almost the perfect thickness, but it was just thick enough that it was almost going to touch the modem that's in there. Of course, I could take it out, but then I could never use that PCI slot. So there's two. See what? There's this is an AGP video card, so it's in the AGP slot. It has to go where it goes. And then there's 2 PCI slots on that machine. And I have a modem in one, and that video card, that multi-input video card, analog closed circuit TV video card, CRT, CCTV. It was a surveillance system. Well, it was in the. I got it. It came in the Net Pro Max back there on the floor. That was a surveillance system. It was really just a, PC kit box that they kind of built into one, surveillance system, just like this box over here that my system's in that I'm trying to fix right now. Okay, so again, if I could just remember half of what I know, I'd be a genius. That is not working simply because I took the video card out, and of course I want it back in there, so there's really no sense in me working myself to death trying to fix it. I just need to either put a heatsink on here or put that other fan in here. I hate just putting another fan in there but maybe the best thing to do. I mean, I think it would probably be the easiest thing to do. I'll switch. Yeah, I'm going to switch to this other, to the lapel mics, and let you see if you can hear it. Pretty obvious when you hear it. Okay, now we're on the lapel mics. And I'm just going to put this right up close to them. And it don't keep spinning, not even a little bit. So I don't know if you could hear that, but now, yeah, if I'm going to work on this, and I'll need to. I'm trying to think of what should I do. I'll need to set up on my workbench and do all that stuff. But the RedBlackBioStar boots up enough for me to have my server going. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, it's actually not really broke now that I realize. So maybe I should just you know, go back to trying to figure out, get something done with my server. Either get my Acer set up as the server like I was trying to do yesterday, or get put a. I have two other 100 megabit video network cards, not video cards, network cards out in the garage and in my boxes. I have to crawl up in the ladder to get to them and everything, which I think I can do tonight. Okay, I couldn't last night. I didn't really feel like doing that. I was afraid I'd fall. I fall really easy. I was afraid I'd fall off the ladder. I have to hang on the walls to get around the house most of the time. That's why I don't do stuff like that a lot of the times. But anyway, the only thing is I tried. I pulled 3 network cards whenever the ASRock onboard video wouldn't work when I put that 8300 8-core processor in it. I pulled 3 video cards out of machines in the garage and tried all 3 of them until I found the one that worked the best, and it's in there. You know, it'll get 95 megabits in there. The other one of those other ones, well, one of them didn't work at all in the ASRock, and the other one only got like 39, 40 megabits. Of course, it could be different in this machine, but you don't know until you try. So in the NetPro Max, but I can't see that network card being bad. I think it's a I think maybe I think a kernel update had an incompatible driver. Like maybe the drivers got updated to a newer version and dropped support for that older onboard NIC is what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm thinking. So, which rules it out as being a server that you can let it just automatically update all the time. Oh, yeah, if I put Fedora 28 in there and it works, put my little USB stick in there and boot it to that, and it works, and that'll kind of, I was trying to figure out how can I figure that out. All the simple stuff that I've been doing for, all these years, I forget. Yeah, my diagnosis systems worked out. All right, so let's make sure that, okay, yeah, I'm still have my terminal in there. I'll leave it like that. Now let's make sure my website's still up and online and everything. If it is, I'll just let it run like it is. It doesn't need a GUI just to be my server. I don't know what my previous session was that. Okay, I can't believe doing an SSH connection is that easy. I thought it took a lot more commands than that. A remote terminal like that. See, I can copy and paste into my normal terminal, and the font is, you know, it's big enough. You don't have to fill every. The crazy thing about Putty is every time you close it, it loses any settings you set in there, and you can't copy and paste in there. And I don't think it even has a memory like, you know, the last thing you typed and all that. Like you can just hit the up and down arrow keys and see the last commands you typed and all that stuff. So the regular terminal, this is Mate terminal I'm using here, it's much better. So yeah, now I can do that on my server anytime I want if I can just remember that. Is this the one yeah, this is the one. I'm going to save that because sometimes I have trouble finding what I found. I think I'll just get rid of any special characters and leave the spaces because I just don't feel like my eyes are blurry. My eyes got tired and blurry hours ago. That tells you how to install it. That's with Yum, but that doesn't matter. It tells you how to start it and everything else too. That's just everything you need. Okay, so I'll just leave it there to make sure I don't mess up my. Okay, there's Uptime Robot right there. Let's see, Uptime Robot and then Monstatic, and they'll have them both. They probably still, usually they stay logged in a while. Where's my monitors? Let's see. No, not that. Checkpoints. Oh, there we go. They call it checkpoints on here. Yep. Okay, so it's still up. This one, I guess I'm going to have to log in again. Yeah, it's still been up. All, you know, shows to be up. Well, it depends on which one it was checking when when you were rebooting as to which one might show to be down. This one checks way more often. But it also seems to time out quicker, is what I've finally decided. Because this one, like DonsSongs.com, is always showing to be down when I can get when this one says it's up. And well, I can, of course, you can go, but when you go to when you're running your own server and you go to it from within your own network, it can fool you because sometimes the machine. I think it's got to do with DNS caching is what it is, and so your machine will look in your DNS cache and then go the short route through your local network instead of going out to the internet and back. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on what's in your cache, I guess. I didn't really know exactly why it did that. I just knew it did it but recently I went through all the trouble of learning how to set up a DNS, not only just a DNS cache. I've learned the difference. I didn't know the difference between a DNS caching server and a authoritative DNS server. And I was trying to set up authoritative DNS server on my server so that I could tell the internet where my server is without having to forward, my domain names. And I found out that I have to have, in order to, I got it all up, looking like it was up and running, but I couldn't set it up in GoDaddy in my registrar without having 2 external IP addresses, and the only way I could do that is to spend a fortune, like, I don't know, I'd have to get another ISP or something. I really don't even know how I would do it. It's not a service I've ever heard of before, for a home service anyway. Never heard of it, but I'm sure it's available for commercial service. Like from, I'm sure, I don't know, I guess if you called up your ISP and asked them, they might say, yeah, for $1,500 a month, we'll do that, So, not doing that. So, yeah, now I've got my, let's go ahead and put that in my documents folder. Linux commands. Now I should be able to find that a little easier. I like to keep that open so I can see that my backup video is still being made. Okay, now just close that so I don't accidentally do anything to that machine. And I forgot to get off the camera the whole time. Well, I guess you heard me talking about it and you didn't see none of it. Okay, I'm not going to do it again now. Okay, so So I'm not going to do anything else to the RedBlackBioStar now. What I'll do is take a break and stop this video and start a new video, and I'm gonna go ahead and see. I think before I try to on the Acer laptop, I think before I try to take the hard drive out and make it work without a hard drive, which I kind of think with the BIOS the way it is, not seeing that SD card, it's not showing that it could boot from an SD card. You know, I think I think I need the hard drive. I just need to install Grub on that hard drive. I already did that yesterday, but I need to. Well, I was using an older version of Rescue Tux. So if I get the new version of Rescue Tux, maybe it can do that for me easily. I tried installing it. I just installed Grub and I ran Grub config, and it still didn't. It all seems to be successful, but it still didn't tell it to boot to that SD card. So maybe Rescue Tux will have a little bit more. The new version will have a little bit. It said it couldn't run it because I had fsck. It said that drive supported fsck or whatever. It had it installed or something. It said this version of Rescue Tux doesn't support it. Get a newer version and it will support it. So that's what I think I'll try doing first, because that hard drive can just stay in there. It's not of any use out of there, and if it can make it work, that's fine. It's really weird how it does. Oh, and I want to look into that. What I saw in the BIOS about that, saying there was a password for the hard drive, I think. It said, anyway, I won't do that now. I'll start another video on that. Alright, so there we go. I finally at least figured it out. I should have known that. If my memory was, better, I would have known that right away, that before I even tried booting it up, to without the video card in there, that it was going to hang up. I think it kind of, just a little twinge of it hit the back of my mind that maybe it wouldn't work. Yeah, I think it did. I think I even mentioned it, but I forgot why. I thought, well, it should. Why not? Because I remembered it works in other machines. But I do remember that it really, well, if you have two, like say if you had an NVIDIA onboard and an ATI Radeon video card, like I have, then it probably would work because you can have both drivers installed side by side. Now it could be that they are and everything's fine except for the config file doesn't have, it's not automatically updating, because this is Fedora 14. It might not have started automatically updating the video configurations, card configurations, until a little bit later. That could be it too. Yeah, that very well could be it. Because I know other machines I have will just, you can take the video card out and it'll boot right up to the onboard. Anyway, that's what I'll do then. Alright, be back in a little bit.